about it, hit me up on the YouTube. We live. Okay. Gods in the rafters covering you and yours. Gather around the world's most famous battlegrounds. Infamous enough where they have it could do you proud. If you're not cut from it, it get harder to breathe it. In a concrete jungle with the garden is eating. Check one, check two. We live. All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Wednesday afternoon. Another edition of KnicksFanTV Live presented by KnicksFanTV.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially trade season as Shams Charania breaks the internet a little bit with breaking news that official Giannis and the Bucks are officially parting ways, and the Bucks are now aggressively entertaining trade offers for the Greek Freak. It is the end of an era. The homegrown talent from Nigeria by way of Greece, former NBA champion, defensive player of the year, you name it, is on his way out. And of course, on today's show, will Leon make one more blockbuster? Is there one more blockbuster up the sleeve of the Knicks president of basketball operations to bring a championship to this city, man? Lock in, hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Salute to everybody watching on Facebook, Twitter, X, Twitch, TikTok. Salute. Call me up on the KFTV Discord and let me know what you think, man. Let's get into it. Let's take care of business, man. Okay? Let's go. As the world turns, Knicks edition. Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. Salute to my franchise channel members. Salute to the replay gang, of course. And if you guys are one of the 100,000 Knicks fans, subscribe to the channel. Throw 100 in the chat, man. This is the People's Championship, of course. Throw 100 in the chat if you are one of 100K. Wow. So breaking news. I mean, listen, it was only a matter of time. The whole thing with Giannis. I was getting Giannis fatigue. Let's just be real. The whole I like her, I don't like her, I'm not sure, that type of thing. You're just waiting for this final shoe to drop and both sides to just keep it a bean and announce that the divorce is happening. And so they have announced it. According to Shams, the two-time MVP is ready for a new home. Translation, he's ready for a trade. Bucks are fielding trade offers. Several teams have made aggressive offers to the Bucks who are starting to listen. Multiple teams receive the sense Bucks are open more than ever to get this done between now and the deadline, but they are not in a rush to complete a move, and they are willing to take this to the offseason. As Shams notes here, what the Bucks are looking for, what any rebuilding team will be looking for. Blue chip prospect, draft capital, and some salary cap relief. The Bucks need it all. If you're going to lose a generational talent, one of the three greatest players in franchise history next to Jabbar and Oscar Robinson, Lou Alcindor at the time, you're going to need to replenish. They're out of draft picks. The Drew Holiday trade, the Dame trade, cost them everything. They sold their soul to win the championship. That's the cost of doing business, so they got to replenish. Portland owns most of those picks. So they're looking for a blue chipper, draft capital, and some salary cap relief. And it says if the price is not met, they are willing to wait to take this into the summer where they will be able to, where other teams will be able to offer more appealing draft picks in June. Translation, maybe the New York Knicks. Okay, goes on to say Bucks are struggling. They are in 12th in the East, in the basement right now, not even a play-in team. And of course, Giannis is also nursing another calf injury and is expected to be sidelined for the next 4 weeks. So that's the table. The scene is set. February trade deadline. It is officially trade season. And now the question is, with the trade deadline upon us, it is now January 28th. We got 8 days until that February 8th trade deadline. Does Leon have one more blockbuster left in him? That is the question. Several questions that I have in regards to the Knicks' chances of really getting this done. Number one, how desperate will Leon get in this one? How desperate will he get? Because obviously the Knicks are going to make an offer here. It's the Greek Freak. You can expect Leon is going to put some chips in the table on this one. Question is, how far is he going to be willing to go? Knicks are kind of hamstrung here. If this is to go down at the deadline, the Knicks wouldn't have the draft capital to send out. They sent all that out in the Bridges trade. If it goes into the summer, they'd be able to hand him over the 26 pick, and then the 33 pick, first round pick, becomes eligible to be traded. So that's what Shams means, that Milwaukee would be willing to wait and go into the summer where other teams would have draft capital, more draft capital to spend. And as it relates to the Knicks, we're talking about 33 here. But for Leon, the question is, do they believe this is really a championship team? Because if not, then he could up the ante a little bit here. We know the team's holes as it relates to the defense, the defensive inabilities by this team. When you question whether or not the big two can be on the court together. We've seen now a trend over the last two games where Mike Brown has been opted to go with a more defensive-oriented lineup, closing lineup to close these games with Mitchell Robinson, Miles McBride, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges. We've seen this team get pushed around game after game, get bullied. Your star player getting bullied. What does the front office think about that as it relates to this team's ability to dig deep and win a championship? You got to get gritty. It's a tough, brutal, physical stretch, not for the faint of heart. Do they feel like this team has the toughness and the leadership required to battle all the way through to June? You got to win 16 games. And finally, do they believe that a Brunson and Towns ticket can get this team to the promised land? It is fair to ask that question given the way that this team has looked this year. It doesn't mean it's impossible, because as I always feel, you can get hot later on in the season. You can improve later on as the season progresses. And in the playoffs, you just never know. A lot of it is matchup dependent, and you just never know how the chips may fall. You look at the Indiana Pacers last year. Hovering near the basement for the first half of the season, they were one of the best teams in the league from January on. But nevertheless, there are concerns with this Knicks team where you can question, should this be the last one, man? Put all the chips in the middle and see if you can get Giannis here. It's tricky because the Knicks would need a lot of help. They got to get the draft picks. The Bucks need their picks back. And so that would entail getting Portland involved in this in a 3-team deal. We're hearing a lot of smoke. The Drew Holiday talk. The interest in Drew Holiday, as reported by Mark Stein in his newsletter. Is that part of a conceptual framework that Leon and Brock Aller have concocted as a potential deal to send to the Bucks? Is Portland interested in Mikal Bridges or even OG? I'm not trying to trade OG. But is Portland even interested in helping the Knicks and taking on Mikal Bridges? What's their incentive to take on Bridges? They've got Denny. They've got Sharp. They got guys. They got young prospects. So it's a little bit tricky when you think about what Milwaukee is looking for and what the Knicks can really offer. Now, if you're talking about a Towns and say, hey, does Portland say, all right, we will take on Mikal Bridges? Are you talking about a framework around that? I can come around to saying let's do that deal. I'd do that deal. Now, if you're talking about you got to also get Deuce involved in this, it's a little bit tricky for me, but would that be a sticking point for Leon Rose? You talking about it? Yeah. You're gonna talk about some of the draft picks and all of that, and the Yabuselis, the Dadies. Forget that. That's filler. I'm talking about the main core. Cat, you get Bridges to Portland, and you get Deuce to either Portland or Milwaukee as part of that. That's tough, but I'm on it, man. I think it's a risk you got to take. But if you're talking about anything like an OG, I'm not with it because you got to be able to defend. To me, I want to see the prospect of a Greek freaking OG out there. Nigerian Nightmares, let's go. Wingspan, getting after it defensively. I'd love to see it. There's also the question of, a Brunson and Giannis pairing. How would that work when both guys need the ball in their hands? How would a Giannis and a Mitch work together? Is Mitch part of a framework to be sent out and then you get a more floor spacing shooting big? See, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. Because you are basically blowing up this team again for one last Hail Mary at it. Is it worth the shot? That is the question we need to be asking ourselves. Call me up in the KFTV Discord and let me know your thoughts. You're changing the team again. You're breaking it up again. Need defense, need toughness, need physicality. You could also make the case they need star power. Because right now, Jalen Brunson is a guy. But if the big bodega Karl Anthony Towns doesn't get right between now and April, they don't have a shot at this. Will Tucci on the TikTok says you keep breaking up the team. That's why the Knicks will never win. Doesn't make sense. What do you guys think? We'll put a poll up in the chat. Shout out to TikTok. Shout out to YouTube. We got 1,400, 1,500 people in here on the YouTube side. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. To everybody watching on Facebook and on TikTok on the lunchtime grind. So, the Brunson Giannis fit. The Mitch Giannis fit if Mitch is here. Giannis has always traditionally played with a floor spacing big. Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis. Now he's got Miles Turner. The Bucks made that move to go get Miles Turner. They made their Hail Mary. So how would that work? Defensively, I'd love it. But offensively, what do you think? A lot of moving parts here. Knicks would need help. You ideally would need to get Portland involved to try to get the Bucks picks back. And you're trying to sell the Milwaukee Bucks on Karl Anthony Towns. It's an uphill battle, man. And so, going back to where the Knicks stand and where the Bucks stand and Giannis are very interesting paths because from a John Horst, the GM of the Milwaukee Bucks, from his perspective, he wants a king's ransom. It's his job to put the pieces back in place once you make a franchise-altering move like trading your franchise player. He wants the young players, the picks, the relief, everything. But if Giannis is truly set on New York or nowhere, who blinks first? So when Shams is saying, hey, he's ready for a new home, it's pretty interesting word salad there because does that mean that he's open to other locations, which means other teams are going to get involved? Is it really New York or nowhere and he's just trying to be the good guy and doesn't want to paint himself as he's placing the Bucks in the corner to take a bad deal, because let's face it, the Knicks deal compared to just about everywhere else in the league would probably be the worst for the Bucks to accept. And then the question is, if you're Horst, can you get another team to jump in who would want to take a flyer on a rental where the rental cost would still be a bit more valuable than what the Knicks can give you? Like, you're getting more picks, you're getting relief, or a young blue chipper that a team on a rental would be willing to give up. So that's the thing. Giannis still holds the cards, but is it really New York or nowhere? Because now other reports are saying that the Miami Heat are expected to be aggressive in this thing. Riles has been after that white whale for quite some time, since the Heatles days, since the days of LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. They tried for KD. They tried for the Spider Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell. Couldn't land either one. They had Jimmy. They had the Jimmy years, but they've been trying to get that guy every year, every time he's available, and Miami's been striking out. So for Riles, is he selling Giannis on Heat culture? I give you the best coach in the sport. You want to compete. You can't say that they don't, no matter who they have. Can't say they don't compete. And then can Riles sell Horst and say, hey, is it a package of a hero, a Khalil Ware? I'm sending hero back to the Bucks, the Milwaukee native. I'm giving you young players, a young fringe all-star in a hero, a blue chipper in a Khalil Ware, and Miami can trade, as far as their draft capital, just looking at my notes, they can trade this year and anywhere from 28 all the way up to 32. And remember, you can't trade picks on back-to-back years because of the Stepien rule. Hot Dorito says Miami has nothing to give. Hey, they got more young players to give than the Knicks do. And they got more draft picks to give than the Knicks do. I'm not so sure I would say that they have nothing to give, if that's what the Bucks are looking for. Now, for Giannis, if you're losing that on the Bucks side, what are you really going to Miami for? You're going to go play with Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, Bam? Or are you really sold on that? And the reason that we say Giannis holds the cards, he's got one more year in his deal before he can opt out. So technically, he's in a free agent year. Always got to think about the Lakers in all of this and their ability to just get anybody that they want. You just never know. May seem impossible, but you just never know with the Lakers. And that's where things stand. Officially on Giannis' watch. Will this happen by the deadline? Or does this go to the summer? Is it really New York or nowhere for this guy? Or is he open? Like, if he's open, I'm even thinking about the Spurs, man. I really am. I've been saying I think the Spurs need to accelerate their timeline with Wemby. I don't trust that he's going to stay healthy for I don't think he has a long career ahead of him. I really don't. And the Spurs have a bevy of young players in draft capital if Giannis would be interested in going there. I wouldn't sleep on the Spurs, man. Somebody said Knicks are the only option. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see who's right by the deadline. If Leon can make this happen. They're going to make a pitch. They're going to make an offer. We'll just have to wait and see, man, if that satisfies the Bucks' request, if that is enough, if they can get Portland to ante up some of those picks. What do you guys think, man? Call me up in the KFTV Discord. 1,700 people on the check-in. Shout out to everybody watching on TikTok. If you guys are on your lunch break right now, throw a hashtag grind in the chat. We'll shout you guys out. We got some super chats to cover. People are in here heavy, man. They want to talk Giannis. Got to give the people what they want, man. What do you guys think? Let us know in the chat. Super chats coming in. Shout out to Alexandra Tungland Alex. Number one on this super chat. $20 super chat says she just loves y'all. They just love y'all. They love KFTV, man. Just sent us $20. Said, hey, man, they just love KFTV, man. So salute. Okay. Shout out to OKC Comeback 123. Says, I don't think Knicks have enough draft capital. $5 super chat says, I don't think Knicks have enough draft capital to land the Greek Freak. I feel it'd be better move for Knicks to wait until the summer. It's a fair point. You wait until the summer. The draft picks open up. And then you're able to trade the 33 pick. Archie Mel says he's on the retirement grind. Shout out Chaotic Anime Web. Timothy Dantzler, salute. Salute my franchise channel members. Salute H&L Dre on the TikTok. 82 strong on the TikTok. Yeah, we building up on here. Delusional Knicks fan says, what about the calf injury? Are you concerned? Definitely. It's a huge risk. People think he's one more away from an Achilles blowout. And that would be, same old Nick type of energy. You gotta factor in his game is predicated on force and speed. LeBron and Halliburton just came out with the clip. LeBron said, the pace of this game ain't like it was in the 80s and 90s. This is kind of a different game, which is why we're seeing so many soft tissue injuries. It's plausible. So for a guy like that whose game is predicated on force and speed, do you trust that he can stay healthy? And how will his game age? DJ Tiger Paul in the chat says, CP, we're not going anywhere with Cat. Somebody said Cat softness is a huge risk. It's a big risk. It is. I'm starting to question whether or not this team can really win with this guy. I'm just not sure. He's all over the place right now, struggling mightily. Has no idea how to be aggressive anymore because they're cutting that off with the offensive fouls. You got smaller players having their way with them. You saw yesterday, Westbrook was bullying him up. And now he's not even closing games, which is not a bad thing. I don't mind that. Like Brown is seeing right now, we got to get stops. And the defense has been better. But overall, you're trying to win a championship. Your defense has to be on point. So I don't mind Cat not playing in these crucial minutes. I think they have more than enough because at the end of the day, you're going to go to Brunson in crunch time anyway. So you might as well just go Brunson and some defensive-oriented dogs with the other four. So that's why you're seeing some Deuce, you're seeing Shamet, you're seeing Wingstop, and you're closing with the block nest monster Mitchell Robinson, who's having a fantastic stretch of basketball. Three-peat as a defensive player of the game for the Knicks. Mitchie taking home the Tims again. So there that is. Let me see. I believe, is he playing tonight is a question. Let's see what's going on here. I think somebody had put in the chat that Mitch and Deuce are out tonight. Are they out tonight? I don't want to start talking about news that's not official yet. I didn't see that, but I did see that the Knicks are ramping up to potentially have this guy playing on the second night of back-to-backs. Last 8 games, Mitchell Robinson, 14 boards, 11, 11, 10, 14, 7, 10, and 13. That's Mitchie, man. Absolutely killing. Salute. Al says the East is wide open. Knicks need to make a move. Hey, you seen what's going on over in Detroit? Cade is not playing around. They just beat the Nuggets last night in Denver. No Jokic. And Jamal Murray choked a little bit at the free throw line. It happens. But Detroit is cooking. They've got toughness, athleticism. They are physical, led by their point guard. They've developed a dog. You talking about the Knicks locker room with no chemistry. Detroit's chemistry is off the charts. They talking about they got a dog club in their locker room where in order to join the club, you got to get out there and get gritty. So they got hierarchy, they got order, they got a whole gang going on in there. But we are talking Giannis, man. Call me up on the Discord. We got to talk about it. Let me shout out another super chat that has come in. Shout out to Shamik Boyd. Peace, blessings, and positive vibes. Shamik says, we will not win a chip with Cat. Make it happen, Leon. Ari from Manhattan will be all right. Here goes another $5 super chat from Fugazi. Says, we can't win with Cat at all. How's everyone afraid of Giannis calf? I don't know what the Knicks should do. A lot of you guys are ready to pull the trigger. And like I said, with Detroit threatening, hey, you could make a case Jaylen Brown in Boston is tougher than the Knicks. I mean, look at them. They out there with the second seed in the East with Luka Garza running in a rotation. No disrespect to him, but I'm saying that's what Boston is looking like right now. Jaylen Brown is killing people. I'm just looking at my notes here. So, yeah, I talked about the Miami factor. And how much Giannis, how much is it a New York or nowhere type of thing? You talk about, okay, you bought the apartment complex. I don't really care about all the real estate moves. A lot of people try to, like, put the tinfoil hat on to tie those things. These guys are millionaires. They can fly wherever they need to fly to. They can get to wherever they need to get to. I'm not really sure that's really, a factor in him coming here. Whether or not he bought a house out in Suffolk County, all of that, whatever. But if it's not New York or nowhere, then the chances of the Knicks getting him by the deadline, I would say, is slim. Because I look at Miami, I look at other teams, I look at San Antonio. And even the Lakers, man. I wouldn't put nothing past the Lakers. Somebody said maybe Golden State. Not so sure. Yeah, how will Giannis fit in the system? Arcane Spirit. Boston is an example of strength in numbers. They lose Tatum and Porzingis, and they are locked in. They are locked in, man. Brand new team. Brand new team. Shout out to El Capitan. $22.93 $5 super chat says, why does everyone see Hero as so desirable? He's a good player. But you know what he is now. He's not the cornerstone piece everyone makes him out to be. No, we're not saying that, but according to Shams, like any other team, you want some promise to bring back to your fan base. A young player, hey, maybe they can sell, hey, we got a homegrown guy. It's really the picks and the blue chip prospect. But, hey, maybe you sell him. We got homegrown guy. Fringe all-star coming back home. We got a blue chipper and a Khalil Ware, somebody we can build around, and we got some picks to work with. Now, even though, how valuable are Miami Heat picks? Yes, right now, they are kind of playing territory, but in the Spoelstra, they always compete. So that's another question. Fugazi, is there $5 super chat? Is there another big move if it's not the freak? I think the Alvarado deal is realistic. I think he's gettable. And I think it's something that the Knicks, where he can help the Knicks. I know you guys don't feel like having another small guard, you're kind of down on that. I get it. When you're dealing with the Yabusele contract, you're not really negotiating from a position of strength here. So in Alvarado, you get some toughness. You get some scrappiness to you. Smarter, better defender. I still think he's a guy that can help. When you look at that second unit that the Knicks are running out there, and now you've taken Clarkson, you've taken Kolek out of the rotation. I don't know how effective that unit is going to be in the grand scheme of things going forward. Because I see it as you're putting Deuce on the ball, which takes him away from his strength, which is off-ball shooting. And then you're also forcing Cat to be more of a shot creator for himself, which at this stage in the game where he's at mentally is also not helping. So you can make a case that that second unit needs an option at the point at times. And then on top of that, if they can get an Yves Missi and an Alvarado, I'd love to see them get that deal at the expense of like a Yabusele, Dadier, and maybe a couple second round picks. If they can get that, I think that's a win for them. You get more athletic in Yves Missi. You get a scrapper. You get an insurance policy in the event Mitchell Robinson gets injured, or you lose Mitch in the offseason. So you get a whole second half of the season to evaluate a guy like an Yves Missi. Yeah, he's got a long way to go. He's still raw. He's still kind of prospect. But I would like that deal. To me, that's a more realistic deal. To me, this Giannis one is still complicated. Stevie Nicks says he likes that move. It's still safer. Yeah. Do I see them sticking to an 8-man rotation? Look, I think for now, a lot of people have been asking about that. Where's Clarkson? Where's Kolick? It's win now time. I told you that play the kid stuff, it was going to be a thing of the past once the pressure started to build up. Now they're in a dogfight in the East. They're 4th right now. You got 3 more games left against Toronto. A tough schedule ahead in February. So I think Brown is searching for a consistent rotation with chemistry and a big-time focus on getting stops, which is why you're seeing Shamet out there. He's a smarter player. He's much more efficient on both ends. But I don't think you've seen the last of Jordan Clarkson. I don't think they will trade him. And his day will come. His day will come. Guys might get hurt. Guys might get into shooting slumps. Maybe on the second night of a back-to-back. Maybe it's tonight. On the second night of a back-to-back. He only went 8 players last night. Maybe it's tonight where you see a Clarkson come in and get some run. Shout out to Scott Sherman. If you guys are new here, type in hashtag new in the chat. I'll shout you guys out, man. If you guys are new here. Somebody said, is Chris Paul a realistic option? No, sir. Chris Paul's playing golf somewhere in North Carolina, man. Chris Paul's days are over, sir. What a way to flame out the league with CP3, right? That boy faded out into oblivion. Big Grango, salute to you. One straight path on the TikTok. Team hashtag new. Welcome to the show. Louis Lopez, salute. We got Rick and Derek, salute. Amy01 on the YouTube. Joseph Holly, I see you. Joe Chanel, 1. Uni424. Shout out to Kylie. Afghan Sam, salute to you. So again, we are reacting to the news that broke earlier this morning from Shams Charania of ESPN, just making it more official of what we already knew. Giannis and the Bucks have formally pursued a pathway to their divorce, and the Bucks are aggressively fielding offers for the Greek Freak. And as Shams quotes, he's searching for a new home. What does that mean? As I said earlier, does that mean he's really open to other teams outside of the Knicks? Then I don't like the Knicks' chances. But is he just saying that because you see, all of this, and I said I've been having that Giannis fatigue. All of this that's been going on from, say, last trade deadline into the summer and all of that, where he's like, I'm here, I'm not here, I want to compete. These guys suck. My agent's saying this. I don't want my agent to say that. Oh, I just feel like it's just been trying to have him spin himself and put himself in a positive light. Because it's not easy to break up with your hometown team and your hometown fans. So it's this whole, he's open to a new home. Is he just trying to save face rather than saying trade me to the Knicks and I'm not signing anywhere else? because that makes him the villain. Now, for the Knicks, they don't have the draft capital to send out. Obviously, there would be a trade involved with Karl-Anthony Towns. We talked about on this show a couple of days ago, a couple of scenarios with, hey, does Mikal Bridges go to Portland? Does Portland want Mikal Bridges? We've heard Mark Stein drop the news that the Knicks are interested in Drew Holiday. So is there a framework already there that the Knicks are pitching to the Bucks? Is it a similar framework that was there in the summer when these guys talked? It was smoky, man. Once the Drew Holiday stuff dropped, it started to get real smoky. So you kind of knew that this day was going to come. Matt says, I'm good with this team. Stevie Nick says, do you think it's affecting the locker room? Certainly possible. You know, I'm not there. I'm not in these players' heads, and anything is possible. Hey, if you were staring down the prospects of getting shipped out of New York and going to Milwaukee, you'd be shitting your pants too. Family show, boy. Hey, these guys are people, right? No disrespect to the Milwaukee, Wisconsin people. I'm sure it's a great place. But damn. Especially if no Greek freak is there, you getting shipped to the wall. And for my Game of Thrones fans, you're getting shipped to the wall. There's a couple places that's considered the wall right now in the NBA. Sacramento used to be Detroit. McKay got those guys balling. But now Milwaukee's headed that way. Like certain places where Utah, perfect example. The wall. Like you go there, you can forget it, buddy. Forget it. So, look, it's all part of the deal, man. I can imagine. Some guys understand the nature of the business, and for some guys, this stuff is new. You know, Mikal Bridges, he's changed team. This is his third team now. He got traded twice. So, yeah. So to everybody in the chat, man, what do you guys think, man? Leave me some comments in the chat. Let me know how you feeling. Do you want the Greek freak or not? Call me up in the KFTV Discord on the Lunchtime Live. We're going to load some people up. Let me read some more super chats. We got 2,000 people here on the check-in. The number one show for the fans, by the fans. Home of 100,000 subscribers. This is a People's Championship. Welcome, man. Make sure you guys share this video on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. Email your grandma. Let her know we cooking. All right. Let me run through some more supers. NYC94, $10 super chat says, the problem with Cat is he spends most of his time on the floor off of drives. Spence don't do that much time on the floor. You're not the big bodega. You're more like Fabuloso. Yeah, he's got to work on that. The decision-making with Karl-Anthony Towns has been the most troubling when you think about what you need to win a championship. You need guys that are solid, man. You need guys that don't get rattled. That's just the reality. Your superstar players, your go-to guys, to me, that's what separates the good from the great to the legends of the game, is how they play that chess match and how they think the game. It's not easy, man. They're going 100 miles an hour. That's why there's so few. But think about the players that played in the finals. You know, a guy like a Shea, Halliburton, Siakam, like those guys that can perform, big-time players and rise up to the occasion. Brunson, rise up to the occasion. It's realistic to think about that with Karl-Anthony Towns. Like, can he ever get over that? And so far in his 10-year career, the answer is no. But as a Knicks fan and he's on your team, all you can do is hope that he can get it together. What else can he do? Because if he's not together, they have no shot. Al, Cat played very well in the playoffs. Yes, he did. He had a number of notable games. The Detroit series, Game 3 of the Pacers series, he saved the Knicks from getting swept. Take it for what it's worth. He saved the Knicks from getting swept. 17 points in that fourth quarter. Lee Low-Key said he had a chip on his shoulder last year. Well, It should be the same chip. You're trying to win a chip. And you got a chance to do it. All right, let me see what other super chats we got in here. Okay, they're saying Deuce is out tonight against the Raptors. Knicks taking on the Raptors, second night of a back-to-back. It's going to be a tough game. Second night of a back-to-back, you got to travel to Toronto. Don't know what time they got in last night. That Toronto offense, they like to get out and run. And I'm sure that will be their game plan tonight, knowing that the Knicks are coming in on tired legs. So the Knicks have to keep the mistakes down, control the glass, and keep these guys like RJ and these guys from getting downhill. Raptors clicking. They won 5 in a row. They beat OKC. They had a number of notable wins. Tonight's a tricky game for a team that they are neck and neck with in the Eastern Conference Finals. All right, let me get to some more supers. We clicking. What do you guys think? Greek Freak, we're going to get to the calls. A lot to do. Busy day, busy Wednesday. Hump day, but yeah, man, we're going to get you through it, man. Number one show for the fans, by the fans. You already know how we roll. All right, let me get to some more supers. The code name V, $5 super chat says, trading Giannis is silly. How would it work with Giannis and JB? Both need the ball in his hand. Plus, Giannis is not a shooter. Team over big name. Okay, so Cody's going team over big name. He's not with it. Shout out to Lou Rock, 3322, $5 super chat. Shout out to Lou. Suriel's 19 says, if the Knicks don't get Alvarado, how do you feel about the Knicks bringing in CP3 and a vet minimum to control the offense when Brunson's off the court? Doesn't move me. I think he's cooked. They don't really have any. It's hard, man. They don't really have any options. Is he worth playing time at this point? Or do you just try to, because what you're trying to do with that second unit, number one, you're trying to get, at least they should be, trying to get Towns in a good rhythm. That's why you're staggering those Brunson and Town minutes. I just don't see the guard that can do that, because when you're going to put Towns out there with Hart is the point guard when it comes to playing in transition and playing fast. If you notice, when it gets in the half court, he's not playmaking. He can't playmake for them. Where Hart is at his best is grabbing and going off of a rebound or a live turnover. That's when he's at his best. Or playing with numbers advantages when opposing teams put 2 on the ball against Jalen Brunson. And Hart's kind of operating in that short roll territory where he can make a play. And then when you're putting Deuce on the ball at the point, that's why that second unit gets into a little bit of rut offensively. So yeah, what's up with Kolek, and they're in a tricky spot. It's hard. It's hard to say who doesn't deserve those minutes. Deuce is one of your best shooters, one of the best shooters in the league. Shamet is playing well, gives you tenacity, effort on both ends. Hard is Hart. He's the glue guy. So it's hard to see who you're going to take minutes away from, but you can see where that second unit needs help. No, Joe Montana, he says, I guess he's being smart. He says, yeah, because Kolek was killing it with the second unit. No, Kolek struggled. We know that. He had the Christmas game and he had the NBA Cup, but he struggled. And he's gotten dogged when they've gone up against dogs. He's gotten dog walked. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But at the same time, I think you can make a case to say, hey, let him get more experience, give him some more time, and let him play through some of those mistakes. I like him and Towns in a two-man game. Jordan ATL, welcome to the show. So, if Deuce is out tonight, then I think Kolek and or Clarkson get those minutes. So you can make a case for a backup point. You can make the case for a backup big. You can make the case for another wing. Knicks have a little bit more holes that they got to fill there. $20 super chat, JFK to guard, 624 says, I think Brunson has the power to empower Towns and Bridges. I can count on one hand how many points Towns has gotten off a Brunson assist. Yeah, look, I can't say you're wrong. You know, the Brunson tunnel vision at times, or the balance between making his teammates better and going for the gusto for himself is a tricky balance. But you guys have heard me say on this show, I'd like to see them develop better chemistry, especially in crunch time. And now you're seeing you can't even play the both of them together in crunch time. So, again, tricky. $10 super chat, Jorge Martinez says, I would love the Greek Freak if we don't have to trade half the team to get him. Take care and congrats again for 100K, Jorge Martinez. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. That's right. Carl, you going to tell me Mikal to Portland in some sort of agreement, and you're getting back a Jeremy Grant, a Holiday? I could get around to that. I'd do that deal. I'd take the chance. I would. I would take the chance. Because even though you want to question the fit with Giannis and Brunson, I get all that. I also look at the Giannis factor as a balance in this system where you don't just have to rely on three-point shots, man. Like the Knicks, especially when they get in the playoffs, I think these upper echelon defensive teams are going to keep this team going east and west. The Knicks really don't have a north-south guy, especially in the half court. And that becomes frustrating, man. Like, sometimes just watching this team just get stuck out there in the perimeter is kind of frustrating. A guy that can put pressure on the rim. You know who was doing that to them last night? And he's not even attack the basket guy? DeMar DeRozan. I'm not saying that I want to trade for him, but like, they just don't. Sometimes it gets tight with them if they're not hitting their shots, especially when their defense is below average. That's where the Giannis thing comes into play. That's where it comes into play. Read some more supers. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody donate, man. Salute to all for all the super chats. Trice NYC $5 super chat says, if Dame and Giannis couldn't work, how can JB and Giannis work? Dame and JB have the same play style. It's a fair point. That is a fair point, sir. But you're also looking at comparing supporting cast. Like, I still think the Knicks supporting cast is better than what the Bucks were working with. Dame was still a Hail Mary play. Get Dante this summer. Boy, oh boy, the Knicks fan will not let Dante DiVincenzo go, man. We're on year 2. They will not let Dante go, boy. That's funny. All right, we got Jorge. We got JFK to God. Jason Benjamin, $5 super chat says, I may be in the minority, but I'd rather have Jaren Jackson Jr. He's in the Triple J sweepstakes for a cat trade. Also try to get Gigi Jackson for working depth. Depleting the roster for Giannis is not it for me. I dig it on the second half of your comment. It's depleting the roster for Giannis is a huge gamble. But I said this on yesterday's show. Like, you guys really believe in Triple J like that? I don't look at him as a high-impact player, man. Good defender, lousy rebounder, and undisciplined defender as well. He's almost at the top of the league in terms of fouling. So how much are you really gaining? Moon in the chat, Wolves fan here. Love Dante DiVincenzo, man. Enjoy it, man. He was a dog here. We enjoyed his 1 year. Gerard True, Danny. Yeah, I'm not so big on the Triple J thing, man. I'm really not so high on the Triple J thing. I really don't look at that guy as like, you know how some guys, they just have it. And despite Triple J's ability as a defender and all of that, I just don't look at him as that type of guy, man. And you're gonna lose rebounding, which is a strength. And if he can't be out there on the court because he's fouling people, then how good is his defense if he's not gonna be available for you? You're still gonna be leaning on Mitch. You're still gonna be leaning on Huck Porty. Christopher Blake, Triple J has a contract nobody should go after, and we are losing rebounding. Yeah, I'm not so big on that, man. Sherrod, I think his motor is lackluster. Likewise. Picks up stupid fouls. I'm not big on Triple J. I think that's a downgrade at best. And that's why I don't see Leon doing that. You're trying to keep your championship hopes alive. You're trying to keep that window open. Yeah, Drew York, he can block shots. I'm not denying that. But remember, you're losing an all-star. You're losing an all-star. You gotta be making an upgrade. Rare Edition says, are we staying put? No, I think they will make a move at the deadline. This Giannis thing is, I still think they're in an uphill battle. They're gonna make an offer, but there's so many factors that will determine if they can get it. Will Portland play ball? How motivated is John Horst to get this done at the deadline versus the offseason where more draft capital can open up? Is it New York or nowhere, seriously, for Giannis? Or would he entertain in Miami or San Antonio or other places if it gives him a legit chance to win? So those three things. And then, how desperate would Leon Rose be to push the final chip over the middle? Where they say, we'll play ball here, but we need Deuce. And I hate to put it out there like Deuce is on that Mozgov thing where a deal is hinging on a Deuce. But just like the Melo trade, you have to be concerned with your depth after the trade. So it's not to say that that player alone should hold things up. But what are you left with to work with if you trade a guy like a Deuce McBride? After you already trade Towns, you already trade Bridges. I'm not trading the dog for Giannis. I'm not trading the dog for the Greek freak. He had an off night last night. I'm not going with the 7 turnovers. It was just a bad night for him. He was feeling himself a little too much after the Philly game. Tonight, he goes back home to Toronto, a little reset. But he had some trouble handling the rock last night, all right? We'll say that. Last night wasn't OG's best. But I still want to see, if I'm going to bring Giannis here, I want to see them two shutting it down in the paint, on the perimeter. I need OG here in any type of Giannis deal. Doesn't make sense if he's not, to me. Okay, we're moving through the super chats. We got the Rhyme Animal Chuck D in the chat. Everybody throw a hashtag PE in the chat to salute our guy. The Rhyme Animal Chuck D never misses a show. Shout out to Dino in the chat. Says, greetings from Syracuse. He throws the Greek flag in the chat. Okay, so Dino, he wants his guy home. He wants to bring his guy home. Throws a Greek flag in the chat to let us know what's up. Let me know where you guys are checking in from, man. Type in your city, your state, your country in the chat. Whatever you repping in from, man, throw it in the chat, and I'll shout you guys out. If you are, like I say, man, you passport bro, and hey, this is a judgment-free zone, go ahead and throw a PB in the chat as well, man. It's all good, man. Get it how you live, all right? Number one show for the fans, by the fans. You see it. Get your towels at KnicksFanTV.com. Get your merch at KnicksFanTV.com. Once a Knick, always a Knick barbecue. And we did the shirts right. Ain't no Eddie Curry's and Michael Sweetney's on here. I got to talk to the Garden about their criteria for the once a Knick, always a Knick barbecue. Because what they had on display the other night was, it was borderline comedy. You had the great champion Bill Bradley standing next to Ronaldo Balkman. I mean, something just, it just wasn't adding up a little bit. But nevertheless, I enjoyed the moment. But on the t-shirt, we keeping it to fan favorites only, man. We not going with the Bargnanis and the Frederick Weisses of the world. Stevie Nicks says, salute, man. We got some money in the air, originally from Rochester and in Orlando now. Okay, so Big Marv, I'm sure Big Marv dodged a snowstorm. He's down in Orlando and got up out of Rochester. I'm sure he's seen enough snow in his lifetime. He said, nah, I'm out of here, man. I got to go to sunny Florida. I don't blame you guys, man. It is the frozen tundra out here in New York, and we just grinding through it. I don't know when the snow is going to go away, to be honest with you. This could last until like May before the final snow clears. And now they're expecting another system coming in this weekend. We'll see how it goes, man, but we'll be ready, man. Just a little adjustment, you know? Just a little adjustment. 2,300 people on the check-in now on YouTube Live. 1 o'clock here, number one show for the fans by the fans. We are cooking. Shout out to Rabia checking in from Shaolin, okay? Who else we got in here? Jason says he's in cat country. He's in New Jersey, okay? All right. Pinu Bianco says they're in Detroit, moving back to Brooklyn this summer, though. A Paisano, okay. And he throws up the Paisan, okay. And he's rocking with Dante Heavy, all right. Dykeman by way of Rochester. Shout out to Dykeman. Shout out to Uptown, Harlem World, USA. Absolutely. Tapping in from DR. Amiel, lucky you, man. Enjoy the summer. I mean, enjoy the beach, rather. We got Bozor checking in from Bucharest, Romania. So we worldwide with it, man. We got everybody checking in from around the world. A lot of people talking about Rochester in the chat. I didn't know Rochester was so heavy, man. Okay. All right, man. We keeping it going, man. We're going to keep the show going. $10 super chat. That low-key gamer says, CP, you mentioned they don't mind waiting until the summer. Is there a team that we are worried about scooping them up before then that has a real trade package? Well, according to the reports, they're saying that Miami is going to be aggressive. I wouldn't put nothing past the Lakers. I haven't looked at their books. I haven't looked at what they have, but the Lakers somehow always find a way to make a splash. So I think you got to factor them in. And also, for some reason, I'm thinking San Antonio, man, as a surprise team. I've been thinking about that from last year. Could be wrong, but for some reason, I'm thinking about San Antonio. Mr. Phoenix checking in from San Antonio. Salute. So, those are the teams. Could we hear more teams getting involved? According to Shams, they're talking to multiple teams with aggressive offers. Is it Chicago? I think there could be a surprise here, but for some reason, I'm still thinking Spurs, man. Still thinking Spurs. Okay. Let's get to some more here. Giannis talk, Giannis watch. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Let me check more super chats as we keep it going. 145 here on the East Coast. Shout out NYC B-Ball says, is Zion an option or is that ship sailed? I hear a lot of people talking that Zion stuff. I wouldn't go anywhere near that. I don't think Zion is anywhere near trustworthy. That would warrant a trade to New York. Hollywood on the TikTok, I see you. Yeah, I wouldn't go anywhere near Zion. He's got to show me at least 3 more years of productive basketball before I would even entertain that. Take the Pelicans to the playoffs. Show me that you could lead a team. He needs at least 3 more years of a resume of healthy basketball before I even believe in him. Start believing. Trade rumors going crazy this year. It is officially trade season. That's a fact, sir. That is a fact. All right, more super chats coming in. Junior Alvarez, $10 super chat says, Giannis and Drew Holiday works for me over Cat, Deuce, and McCall. We would still have Jordan Clarkson and Josh off the bench. We chasing a chip this year. The Greek is a beast on defense too. OG and Mitch. I do it. Yeah, I would. It's a risk, but we have to ask ourselves, how legitimate is this team in terms of winning a championship, especially if Karl Anthony Towns is not right? If he's not playing as the all-star version of himself, then how realistic is this run? I'm not saying that they can't compete. They certainly can. But how realistic is it? So we have the official injury report from tonight. This is from Steve Popper of Newsday. Pacome Dadier out. He's on G League assignment. Trey Jemison has been around in a while. He's on G League assignment on a two-way. The new G League acquired two-way contract, Dylan Jones. He's out there in the two-way. Deuce is out. Left ankle injury management for Deuce McBride. Okay. Kevin McCullough also in the G League. Okay, so Mike Brown letting you know right now. The youth movement is on ice tonight, and Mitchell Robinson is out with left ankle injury management. Josh Hart questionable with right ankle management. So it kind of tells you, especially with Hart questionable, Deuce and Mitch out, kind of tells you how the Knicks are approaching this game. I think they're approaching this as a scheduled loss here. Yeah, El Jefe, basically a night off. Seemed like they're taking a night off tonight. You still got Portland to deal with on Friday, and then the Lakers on Sunday. So it seems like they're chopping this up to a scheduled loss. We'll see how this impacts the minutes. You can expect Clarkson, Kolek to come in. Not a insurmountable or a game that they can't win. They can certainly win it, but they seem to be proceeding with caution. I don't see why not. You still got 3 games left against this Raptor team. You have another opportunity to win the season series. They'll have 3 opportunities to win the season series against the Raptors. They're up 2-0 with 3 more to go. They're actually playing the Raptors 5 times this year when you factor in the quarterfinal game in the NBA Cup. Definitely got to be ready for the Lakers. William Lofton, welcome to the franchise channel members. Salute to you. Oh, we got a ton of people in here. I'm bugging out. All right, let me load some people up here on the Discord. We're going to get to our members first. That is a perk of joining and becoming a franchise channel member. We have a lot of callers on the Discord right now. We got 7 people. We're going to get to the members first, and as time allows, members do get to cut the line. That is a benefit when you pay for your franchise channel member, which is less than a cup of coffee, $4.99 a month to support the show. So go ahead and consider joining the franchise channel memberships. You get your icon, you get your badge, you get discounts on merch, watch parties, you name it. You get access to early releases that we do, early interviews and things of that nature that we do. So consider joining the franchise channel memberships. Let's get to Knicks Fix on the Discord. Knicks Fix, kick us off, man.
KP, what up, bro?
How you doing, man?
I told you, man. I told you as the Knicks were having trouble in November, December. I said as we get to this trade deadline, the talk is going to pick up, man.
Yeah.
Get your souvlaki. What else? What other Greek food, man? Baklava, moussaka ready, bro. Our story is about to be lit. So in regards to the trades, right? I think there's a couple of dark horses. So like if you look at San Antonio. If San Antonio makes the deal, they have to give up quite a few people. They got to give up Vassell, Castle, and Harper, which I don't think they would do. That's just to make the salaries match, right?
Plus probably Harrison Barnes in terms of the Spurs offer for the contract.
Yeah, I mean, it works in the trade machine.
Yeah.
It looks like they'll still be about $6 million under the second apron.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely works. But, I mean, why would San Antonio do that when the team that they have already beats OKC?
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair way to look at it. Yeah, San Antonio has beat OKC 3 times this year. But playoffs is a different animal, man. Playoffs is a different beast. And so that's why I'm like, why would San Antonio go for it? Because you're going for a guy who's proven it already that he can win it. And he knows what it takes to get it done.
I mean, I think they're kind of in I see where you're coming from with the San Antonio mold, but I think they're kind of in the mold of like, all right, let's build this team kind of like how OKC did with longevity,
Yeah,
rather than just swing for the fences where we are.
that's fair.
Now, the second deal I looked at, man, CP, was the Miami Heat deal.
Miami,
So
okay.
if Okay, so if you look at the Miami deal, Tyler Hero makes 31, and then Andrew Wiggins makes 28. So you still need to include one of either Jack Hawkes or
Yeah,
Khalil Weir. So is he really going to go to a team that has Bam Adebayo, Davion Mitchell, and
right.
then like Powell? Who
Yeah.
you gonna play with? The corpse of like Rozier?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Miami is according to the reports, they will be aggressive, but you're right. Like, how much does Miami appeal to him? Is it about the Heat culture? Would he be open to playing with Spoelstra? There's not much there from a roster standpoint if they're going to trade the pieces required to go get Giannis. I agree with you there.
Correct. So he'll be going from what, the 12th seed to maybe the 6th seed going
Yeah.
to Miami. That's not enough, and you can tell this guy wants to win. And then lastly, the last deal you'd look at is the OKC deal.
Yeah.
But they would. I mean, this is the last year before they enter like some crazy
I don't think
conference.
I don't think OKC is going to jump in there, man. You think so?
I don't think so, man.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think there is one dark horse team that people are talking about, but
Yeah.
I don't see what the Warriors have to offer.
Yeah, I don't see Golden State either, man. Would he really want to do that and stick around? What do you think? What do you say, that they would put Kuminga in a deal, Golden State?
So that's probably the only like trade piece that you could look at, and him and Pods, but they don't really have any picks until like 2031.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really the Knicks, because it's like I said earlier, man. That Cat deal, he's the only player in the league that matches his contract to a T.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
is if we can find the pieces.
You're trying to sell the Milwaukee Bucks on Karl Anthony Towns. They want to sell their fan base on a future.
So
They
this
want to
is
sell them
where
on a future. Knicks don't have the young players. I'm pulling it up right now from Bobby Marks. We have no tradable first-round picks until this summer, when you could trade the 26 pick and 33 opens up to be traded.
Correct. But if we wait for this offseason to get him, then you enter the second apron, which it's
true.
You know,
That's
even
true.
even if we trade the 26 and the 33 picks, then we enter the second apron by getting him.
Yeah.
Now, here's where I think that McHale piece is actually vital, because the most valuable picks in the NBA are your own, because you can control your own picks, right?
Yes.
So if that team goes to they have a pick swap with New Orleans this year. So if they go and tank this year, they will own their pick, or they could get the New Orleans pick.
Right.
Now, what they get back from Portland is the control of their own future.
Correct.
So that's why I think this deal gets done, man. It's gonna be Cat and McHale. But if they say, okay, you're at the 1 yard line and Deuce puts us over the edge,
Right. Are you putting Deuce there if you're at the 1 yard line? You're saying you think Portland will play ball. They will take on McCall and help you get the Bucks picks back, which is what this is going to take. Question is, does Milwaukee say, all right, that's part of it. Give me that young gunner that you got over there making $3 million so that I can sell my fan base here, that we getting something, a little spark plug here as we build our team for the future.
So I'll keep it rapid fire in this, because I know you got people in the lounge, man. But if it's Deuce included in that deal, we got to get something back, man. We got to get a point of attack defender back, because now we'll be losing our only two. We'll be who are you gonna put? Shamit at the point of attack?
That's right.
It's gotta be Grant, or it's gotta be I'll take a flyer on Drew Holiday.
Okay.
Anyway, CP, let's see what happens tonight, man.
All right.
I'll give you a call back later.
There you go.
Take it easy, bro.
So just to summarize, Knicks Fix said, hey, he doesn't see San Antonio as plausible based on what they would have to give up. Doesn't see Miami as being as enticing to Giannis once you factor in the trade pieces that you have to give up. And he's saying, if push comes to shove and he's got to cut loose with Deuce, he's putting Deuce on the table. You guys be the judge. Rate that take in the chat. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. He says he's getting Deuce out of here if Deuce is a sticking point. That's tough, man. That is tough. I put up the graphic here by Bobby Marks, just taking a look at what the Knicks are dealing with right now in terms of how their asset table looks at the trade deadline. 0 tradable first-round picks. They have the Washington Wizards first. If that pick goes between 9 and 30. If not, it turns into a second-round pick. A couple second-round picks. 26 and 27. They are $148,000 below the second apron. Last 15 games, 11th in offense, 24th in defense. 22nd in points off of turnovers. 24th in free throw attempts. 26th in points in the paint. Very interesting how Bobby Marks spun that, where the Knicks are snapshot in the last 15 games. Because that's what I mean. When you think about it, they're not generating easy points in the paint. No one to put pressure on the rim and get downhill consistently. Don't get to the free throw line because they jack up threes. 24th in defense. All that screams, get me Giannis in here. You going to win a championship with those numbers like that? With no versatility to your offense and lackluster defense? If it makes sense, I'll put Deuce on the table. Dorkosaurus, too old, short, and unathletic to be physical. Leaning more on Shamet, you leaning more on Clarkson. What do you guys think, man? True Blue says Giannis can change everything. Yo, it's tricky. I'm trying to win a championship, man. Some people saying throw everything at Giannis. Okay. All right. Salute, man. We out here cooking. CP the franchise here. Lunchtime grind. Getting you guys through the day. Hump day. Knicks and T-Dot taking on the Toronto Raptors. And Knicks look like they're going to play this one safe a little bit. No Mitch. No Deuce. Josh Hart. Questionable. All three of those guys nursing ankle injuries. Load management. Shout out to one of our sponsors of today's show, man, and that is Fabletics, man. Those of you, some of you guys might be at the gym right now getting your workout on. I know when I get to the gym, man, I like to look good. I like to feel good, just like I got my KFTV drip on. When I get to the gym, I like to look good, man. You know, you look good, you feel good, man. So, shout out to our sponsors of today's show. And that is with Fabletics, man. Join their VIP program for 80% off everything when you sign up. Just go to fabletics.com/KFTV. And when you fill out the quiz, let them know that KFTV sent you. And for the men's selection, they got a ton of dope items, man. Check out the long sleeve shirts, the hoodies, all comfortable, durable, breathable. That's what I like about Fabletics and their fabric. So quality company, man. Salute to our guys at Fabletics for sponsoring today's show. Once again, go to Fabletics, FABLETICS.com/KFTV. 80% off everything when you join the VIP program. And Stevie Nicks says quarter zips. Yeah, quarter zips. You got the quarter zips, man. You're good money. You're good money. People in the chat are saying that they're on the YouTube side saying that they're having audio issues. Refresh your browser or jump out the video and jump back in. I'm not sure why that's been. I got consistent connection here. So refresh your browser if you're having audio issues. Refresh your browser or jump out the video and back in for... Hang tight. Okay, we back up. All right, so we dropped for a second. Matter of fact, I'm going to call Verizon right after this, man, because my Verizon is bugging out right now. So I'm going to get Verizon going. We did just drop some some bars here. Go ahead and refresh the chat, and we'll get you back in. All right, we'll load up some more people. Rapid fire. Mike from Michigan. One take and pass the mic. Mike from Michigan.
What's up, CP? On the grind here, so gonna be rapid fire. They're trying to start a teams meeting on me, so I'm gonna go quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So here's my thing. I agree with everything you said. I mean, Giannis, he's beyond elite, and pairing him with Brunson, you figure the rest out. I get that. My personal thing is, I'm hoping we can wait till the summer to reassess. The big reason for that is I just got to make sure that leg is okay. The 4 calf injuries in 19 months or whatever, 2 of them this year, that scares me, and I would hate for us to acquire Giannis. He gets back, healthy, quote unquote, and then he blows out that Achilles and you're out a year plus, and then windows start to close at that point. So we may not have that luxury because it looks like it's heating up now.
It's heating up.
I'm kind of hoping the Bucks, they just kind of say, look, we're going to reassess in the summer, just kind of shut bro down. And there'll be more suitors then. It'll be more competitive. But I think we would, hopefully just have a better sense of, all right, he's healthy. We put together the package we need to. We got more picks available. And then we're good to go. Appreciate the call, bro.
There you go. King Mott, you up next. King Mott on the Discord. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, CP, you can hear me?
Loud and clear, man. Rapid fire. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I like what Nick Fix had to say. He had a lot of good points. The only thing with the Spurs trade, they want to have to probably add as many picks as some of these other teams, because if they put a couple of those first rounders that they've drafted over the last few years, that might be enough, because those players turned out pretty good so far. Being in New York City with special surgery, the Knicks medical team need to be on point with that Giannis, that calf, man. They need to look at that 2, 3, 4 times over before they do anything, because, again, we know in the past, athletes to come here and then, God forbid, something tragically happens to this guy and he's out for the rest of this year and next year, we'll be screwed. So Knicks, if they do try to make a trade like this, they definitely got to look at those medicals closely and make sure that everything is really good with that leg, man, because that'll make me super nervous making a trade for him, giving up the assets that we would have to give up, and then something terrible comes.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Appreciate the call. Greg, go ahead and unmute your mic. Greg, are you there on the Discord?
Yeah, CP, you hear me?
Loud and clear. How you feel?
Feeling good. Yeah, King Ma just kind of took my points. I'm kind of waiting for the summer.
Okay.
Because, this injury he's dealing with right now, 4 to 6 weeks. That's what looking at like an early March return. If we're already giving up our pieces, what's that going to look like in that meantime until he comes back? And I guess just another rapid fire, this last thing here is, each year in the last 3 years or so, right, we've been ascending. We went to the semis, we went to the conference finals last year. I think we're, still on that trajectory, even though these last couple weeks or so have looked pretty down. But if we're looking to trade Cat and McCall, what does that really say about Leon Rose in the front office if their last 2 big swings are going to be out the door in a year? After giving up all that we did to kind of acquire them.
Yeah.
So,
well, if you're talking about doing that for, nominal gains, then you can question. But you're talking about Giannis, though. You know what I mean? He's better than both of those guys. Like, you are talking about a guy who has won the big one before and can still compete, can still play at a high level and still all-star at a high level on both ends of the floor. So it's a different case here, right? You're still looking at building, you're still looking at keeping your championship window open, but you're looking at bringing in a better player. If you still have a team intact by the time you make the trade, and that's where it gets trickier for the Knicks.
Right. Yeah. And so as long as we can keep OG and Deuce and Mitch, I'm cool with the trade.
Appreciate
I'll
it,
be
man.
at the Wizards game on Tuesday, so I'll try to call in after that.
Okay, call us up with the stadium report, man, please. Thank you.
All right, no doubt.
Greg on the Discord. Black Prodigy, you up next. So we had 3 straight callers basically concerned about the injury and kind of want to stand pat and see how Giannis looks at the end of the season. All right. We got 2 more calls and we're going to wrap up. We're going to go with Black Prodigy, rapid fire Black Prodigy.
Yo, what's good, y'all? Y'all hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, man. I got to talk about Mikal Bridges, man. I don't understand the hate, why we want to include him in every trade instead of OG. have you ever seen a more consistent man in your life? Consistent basketball player who shows up every game. He's shooting 50% from the field, 40% from the three-point line. He's getting steals, he's getting blocks, and he plays every game. If we make the trade for Giannis, we need consistent role players who is going to show up. To me, OG is just a wild card. He gets hurt. He messes up his leg randomly in the playoffs when you need him. I'm not with including Mikel in any trades. I say we keep him. He has a relationship with Brunson, with Hart. I just think it makes more sense. All right, I'm out, y'all.
Okay, so rate that call in the chat. The Black Prodigy, he wants to keep the Nova Knicks together. And he says he's ready to trade the dog over Mikal Bridges. What do you guys think about that? I see tomatoes flying in the chat. They making ketchup out of this guy. For those of you on the TikTok side, when you get tomatoes, that means that the chat's not feeling your take. If you get fire emojis, you get a 5. That means they're feeling it. So rate that take in the chat. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. He says he wants to keep the Nova Knicks together, and he says the dog is the odd man out. I got to disagree with you, sir. I want to keep OG. I think he's a gamer. I think he's ready for the big show. Look, it's not pretty, but he gets gritty, as my tagline goes. It wasn't pretty, but it was gritty. That's OG Anunoby in a nutshell. Because when it comes time to buckle down, defensively, he's going to do it. And offensively, hey, when he's on, he's going to knock down those corner threes. He can put the ball on the floor and get to it. Somebody in the TikTok said, I'll take OG with 0 handles over Mikal Bridges. I'd rather go to OG, man. I'm with that. At least he attacks. At least he's got a dog mentality. You got to beg Mikal Bridges to go get to the free throw line. He's doing somersaults and pirouettes. You got the Winter Olympics. You see all the figure skating going on. Look at all them moves. That's what Mikal Bridges is doing in the middle of a game. Just to get into a mid-range shot. Played well yesterday. He was very aggressive. I'm happy to see that. But yeah, if it came down to the 2, I'm keeping the dog, man. I'm keeping OG. You know what I mean? Okay, what's my guy Jared? What are you saying? Hang on. What's going on here? Okay, we did shout out to somebody that bought merch on TikTok, man. Somebody copped the Once a Nick, Always a Nick t-shirt, available on KnicksFanTV.com. Shout out to the person on TikTok that got that. Let me see who that was, man. Salute, we rocking. So to everybody on TikTok. The dog or Mikal Bridges, where you guys going? Let me know what you think. Okay, somebody else. Shout out to Darnell Tucker on TikTok. Copped the Once a Nick, Always a Nick shirt. He got it in black. Okay. Shout out to you. We got him available in black, white, and this royal blue. And also available in crew necks, man. It's cold out here in the East Coast, so we got you all covered. All right. Couple more, and then we're going to wrap up. Sean Woodson, rapid fire Sean Woodson. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, man. Where you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Indianapolis. I'm right here in the trenches, man.
Indy, let's go.
Yeah, I don't mess with the Pacers, man. Shout out KFTV.
Nice. He said he's checking in from Indy. He don't rock with the Pacers.
Yeah,
let's
I
go.
don't rock with the Pacers, man. Knicks fans, what's happening, man? What's up? So
let's go.
Real quick, I just wanted to say, fun fact about me. My uncle actually used to coach for the New York Knicks, Mike Woodson.
Oh, so, your uncle's Mike Woodson.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's my guy, man.
I've been following you guys, since then and everything. So, I appreciate everything you guys do.
Yeah. Did you see the interview we did with Mike Woodson? Did you see the Woodson interview?
I'm sorry?
Did you see we had Mike Woodson on the show last year. Did you see that?
Yeah. It's funny because I actually called him and I told him, I was like, dude, you was on a CP the franchise? And he started laughing.
Yeah, franchise. But that's okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead with your point.
All right. So I do have an unpopular opinion, I guess more like a question. I want to say, as far as a trade for like Giannis, do you think like a 3-team trade will work? Whereas like we can maybe involve like Portland, where they can send their picks in. Let's say like, for example, we send Mikal Bridges, I would say, to Portland.
Yeah.
And probably get like Drew Holiday
in
exchange. and then we can send off like Cat to Milwaukee, probably with another player. But again, it's just really more of a question. I kind of want to see like what everybody thinks about that more than anything.
Yeah,
I personally think that we should keep OG though. I don't.
Yeah, I'd rather keep OG.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep OG. And he's asking about a potential framework with the Blazers involving Cat and Bridges. It was the framework that we talked about on this show a couple days ago. We had Yossi Goslin, our resident capologist. Make sure you guys are following him on the Third Apron newsletter and also on this show as well. But he does a great job breaking down the NBA salary cap because those things are important when you think about how these teams have to structure these deals to get to get into the game. And so, yeah, I think the Portland one is one that we are looking at as the most plausible because should Portland accept, it would allow Milwaukee to accomplish the goal of getting the draft capital needed to send Giannis elsewhere. They want to get back in control of all the draft picks that they lost in the Drew Holiday and in the Dame trade. So I think that is what we're looking at here is the Knicks' best chance is technically flipping Mikal Bridges for some picks or flipping OG, worst comes to, the worst case scenario, flipping OG in exchange for picks and then satisfying Milwaukee's need to rebuild. We'll see, man. It is officially trade watch. Cody, close us out. Rapid fire. Let's go. Cody, do we have the defending Battle of the Fans champion on the line? Cody, are you there? Oof. Looks like Cody missed his chance, man. He's the defending Battle of the Champs champion, Battle of the Fans. Here we go.
You hear me?
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, all right. I had it on mute. Yeah, I think the deal is done, man.
He thinks it's done.
Look at the NBA. Miami don't have enough to offer. He's not going to go to Miami because if they send out those guys, there's nobody to play with. He wouldn't go to San Antonio. He's not going to leave a small market for another small market. And we do have enough. We're just going to have to give up more than we want. Send a couple guys to Port. It's going to be a 3-team trade. Send one of those guys for some picks. It's going to be a done deal.
Okay.
And you got to make the move. And I say you got to make the move because you see you can't win with Cat. You can't win playing 3-on-5 on defense. They could survive with Brunson 4-on-5, but 3-on-5 is not going to get it done. He's not playing fourth quarters as it is.
Yeah.
I think they're going to overpay, but they're going to get it done.
Okay. Rate that call in the chat. Corey says it's a done deal. It's over with. Nobody else can compete for the Greek Freak. All right, man. We'll see if you're right, man. Appreciate the call. We'll talk to you tonight, man.
My words, it's done.
Yes, sir. Cody says it's over with. All right, so that's a people's champ. He's a Battle of the Fans champion. He defeated Michael White the other night in an epic battle, impromptu battle that we allowed and sanctioned right here on KnicksFanTV, the number one show for the fans by the fans. The only Knicks podcast that takes live caller reactions from Knicks fans from around the world. And sometimes a battle might break out. We've been doing this for 10 years, man. This is what we do. This is what we specialize in. It's our superpower. We sanction battles between the fans. If you want to get your point across, you want to call somebody out, this is the platform to do it. Number one show for the fans by the fans. This is our motto. This is what we live by. You know what I'm saying? Get your rally towels at KnicksFanTV.com. Ooh, aggravated man said he really lost. Damn. He said he lost. The people voted for him, man. If you look on the video, the people voted for him. He kind of does sound like Esco a little bit, right, Chuck? He kind of does sound like Nas a little bit. Shout out to Queensbridge, man. Shout out to Queensbridge. I learned that the Artest family are big fans of KFTV, man. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Papa Artest. And shout out to the true warrior, of course, Ron Artest, a.k.a. Meta World Peace, friend of the program. He's been on this platform as well. How about the guy in Indiana said he's Mike Woodson's nephew? Shout out to him. He's in Indiana holding down the orange and blue. He's not an Indiana guy. That's interesting. So shout out to Mike Woodson's nephew, man. He said he's orange and blue through and through. Shout out to him. All right, man. I got to get some lunch in me. But listen, you guys know, man, whenever it pops off, Wherever he goes, whether it's the Knicks, whether it's elsewhere, we are going to talk about it. That's what we do on this show. Shout out to everybody for joining me on the Lunchtime Live. Any news, any rumors, we going back to it. Trade deadline central. It is official. We kicked it off. 9 more days. How many more days? I say 7 more days? 8 more days. February 5th, trade deadline. Will he become a Knick? Or will it be Alvarado, Misi? Will they go somewhere else? Najee Marshall. Lot to talk about, man. Call us up, man. Great session. Constructive dialogue. That's what we do here. Shout out to Suavi for the super chat. I got Shamik. I got OKC comeback. Alexandra. Salute. Quan Smith, 31. Is there a way we could get Giannis and Miles Turner? We need that floor spacer. I think we did talk about it on the show with Yossi. Without going through like all the numbers and everything, it's hard to say. But I think what he did say in that show is that you could envision the Bucks trying to get out from under that Turner deal as they try to move on and completely destroy and rebuild this thing. And in the case of Giannis, you can make the case that they do need a floor spacing big to pair him with. Mellow Mike, hello CP, I'll believe it when I see it. Shout out Mellow Mike, so he's a skeptic. That's fair. Suave $5 Super Chat says Giannis with Holiday, Mitch, and OG would raise hell on defense. That's what I'm looking at. You gotta get some stops, man. Gotta get some stops. Shout out Peter Mason checking in from Italy. Fugazi says we can't win with Cat at all. How's everyone afraid of Giannis's calf? I got that super chat. El Capitan, salute to you. LBG, to death, salute to you. Fugazi said another big move if it's not the freak. We talked about the Alvarado one. I think that one's the most realistic. NYC94, I got that. Suriels, I got that. Lou Rock, appreciate you. $5 super chat. One codename V. Jason Benjamin, salute. JFK to God, Jorge Martinez. Triz, NYC. NYC in Seattle. Says CP, your north-south point is 100. Giannis creates threes. Yeah, it gets tricky when they get stuck in the mud, man. They get very predictable. Vic from the side, $5 super chat says McCall, Yabu, and Dadier if we must. Clarkson for Gafford and Marshall. Okay, he says McCall, Yabu, Dadier, and if we have to put in Clarkson for Daniel Gafford and Najee Marshall. Let's forget about Giannis. Adding a solid 5 will unlock Cat and anchor the defense. He got the 5, sir. His name is Mr. Robinson. Aggravated man. I'd rather Najee Marshall right now over Giannis. That's another one. Hey, man, I love Najee Marshall, man. I'd love to have him here. He's an absolute dog. And when we talk about when we look at the numbers that Bobby Marks presented us here, where the Knicks are, and these can change, but on their last 15 points in the paint, they're 26. Free throw attempts at 24th. Those are 2 areas right off the bat Najee Marshall can help. No question. Low-key gamer, I think I got you. Got you. NYC B-Ball, got you. Junior Alvarez. Think I got Junior. Okay, Bert says, I don't know, man. We're likely going to pay a Knicks tax, whether it's gutting the team or his calf going bye-bye. Don't forget, OKC has a ton of capital. Yeah, I'm not so sure they go that route. That would be funny, though. That would be funny. David Stern will be rolling in his grave. Shout out to Pinu. He says, Ayo squad, I'm about to hit pay. Is there a member discount? I'm copping my 100K. Salute to Pinu. On the 100K, we didn't add it there, but there will be down the road for sure. There's a ton of opportunities for members to get giveaways, for discounts on merch, for discounts on the watch parties as well. Shout out to William Bowman. Says we at least have to try to get the freak against all odds. Yeah, man. Against all odds. Snapbacks. These are the new era ones. As you see here, man. New era. We got the KFTV on the side. Against all odds. Snapbacks, man. That's how we live it, man. Back against the wall. We got to go down swinging. Artman, formerly known as Steve. CP just had the best convo that was never heard. Yeah, I got to translate the callers for my TikTok audience. So I'm everywhere. I'm talking to everybody at once. Angel Vallejo says CP was talking to his TikTok people. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out CJB. CP, be real with us. What are your sources telling you on this? We know you know. Look, I said it at the beginning. They're going to make an offer. They're trying to get him. Ball is in Milwaukee's court. The Knicks can only do but so much to get him. They're going to make an offer. Milwaukee, can they get their picks back? Is it New York or nowhere for Giannis? All those have to be into consideration. Or will they punt to the offseason to try to get that extra draft picks from the Knicks? Because if it truly is New York or nowhere, then Milwaukee can afford to wait. But the Knicks will make an offer. Trust and believe. They're going to make their offer. Okay, that I do know. And we got Junior Alvarez, $10 super chat. If we can get Portland involved because of Mikal, we get Drew at least 4 first-round picks with Cat and Deuce. That has to be up there for the best trade to the Bucks. Without knowing his preference and what else they have on the table, it's hard to say. It sounds hot, sounds good. But without knowing, you can't really gauge the value without having something to compare it with. So that's that. I'm going to take a break, man. Get some lunch. Get to the gym. We'll be back. Knicks versus Raptors post-game live. Highlights, analysis, more reactions, more callers on this Giannis talk. Whatever you want it to be, man. Number one show for the fans by the fans. Thanks, everybody, for tapping in. Enjoy the rest of the work day. Hopefully, we got you halfway through, halfway home. Salute to the replay gang. If you're catching up on audio podcast format, make sure you also following us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Leave us a 5-star rating. It goes a long way. And we'll see you guys later on tonight, man. We out of here. TikTok piece, Facebook, Twitter, X, and of course my YouTube family. We out of here. 100K. We did it, baby. And we getting closer to 101K. All right, so 100K. Appreciate it, man. This is the People's Championship right here. I gotta shine it up. It's a little smudged. You know what I mean? I got my fingerprints on here, man. Gotta shine that up, man, before I put it on the wall. But there it is. There it is, the People's Champ. All right, people. We out of here, man. Great show, great conversation.